Hello everyone. Now that everything is working and the web page is loading, how is everyone doing? The no audio is now fixed. Thank you very much, Mo. Hopefully you all can hear me. Today's going to be a bit of a shorter stream just because I have some things to do later, and thankfully that also is in line with the market. Bitcoin didn't do too much. We're just still stuck within this range. So we go over our usuals. I will go over CRV for you, Brady, and we'll see, for Tom Barty, and then we will take it from there. See how much time we have left. So let's just go over Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin, we just came to our current range lows, our mini range lows. I'll just treat this as our range low and our range high, and we're currently stuck in between them. And we came to our range lows, retested our range highs, and that would have been two nice positions if you've taken either of those. Even if you just took this as a take profit, then saw strength above the value area low, came back and filled these fair value gaps, took a long position off of that, and then take profits off of this, not necessarily a short, coming up to our value area high, and then see the weakness through the party control and finding a short position through there. Those would have been two great positions. Without being too aggressive, right? We just want to see some confirmation of strength before we do get more aggressive on longs, unless you're unless you're scalping, which is not necessarily my cup of tea. So nothing wrong with that, but if you're just scalping little moves like this, then there's no problems with taking long positions or short positions right at the range highs without confirmation of strength or weakness. But right now, what are we doing? We just bounced off this value area low, coming back up, and currently just really boring day, honestly. There's no drives of any divergences, but one thing we have been talking about is the skew from the point of how the volume profile is set up. We talk about, first of all, the skew of the value area itself. The skew of the value area is obviously to the upside. However, I would put little significance on the skew just because this range is so new, as well as the volume outside of the value area isn't necessarily too weak. So I won't put too much pressure on the skew. However, I would put a lot of pressure on the skew of this point of control, right? This point of control is skewed heavily to the value area high compared to the value area low. And what that means is that you're most likely going to break to the opposite side because you have a lot more trapped longs on the top. And if it was the flip side, if the point control is skewed to the downside, that signifies to us that you most likely have a lot more trapped shorts and you're going to break to the upside. So we're looking for a break to the downside of this range, which is in line with a lot of the macro levels we've been talking about, right? The macro Bitstamp level, which we failed to get back above. Point control, and now we're just retesting our daily value area low, right? That's what kind of sort of caused this bounce. Once again, if we do continue upside targets, and I will just take a quick look at, if we do have time, I'll take a quick look at SPX and see what's going on with there, just to see if trads might be continuing their upside move. You do have this fair value gap up to 2074.2. 20,742. So if you do get upside continuation, look for that to be your first potential stoppage, and then you can continue to the downside. But for now, we are just stuck within that range. So real simple range plays. You can just change, and how I described it before is how you can just trade it, right? Take profits at notable levels, range lows, range highs, value area low, value area high, and just look for signs of strength and weakness based off of the volume profile levels. And you should be, this should be quite easy. You don't necessarily have to take a position every single day, especially on just one coin. So if I came to the charts today and missed this long, I wouldn't necessarily go long just right after that. So not too much to talk about, quite honestly, about Bitcoin, which is great. So let's just go over Ethereum versus Bitcoin real quick. Okay, Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Retesting this. Let's go over to 4-hour time frame. Right, we've been stuck within this range as well for quite some time. I said unless you get a closure below this level at 72 cents, not 72 cents. You know what I'm talking about. This right here. Unless you get a closure below that, right, you're most likely just going to continue to range. We failed to get a closure above that. We filled this fair value gap to the T. Got some rejection, and now we're just retesting this point of control right here, which we rejected off of. So maybe that will help us in line with what's going on with Ethereum itself. Okay, so Ethereum, we marked off this level right here as the end of this fair value gap right here. You also had a fair value gap right here, which ended. I will just mark it out with actual box. I wouldn't put too much strength on this, just because you had a significant amount of volume coming into this in these candles right here. So right here, you also have a small fair value gap forming. But on smaller term time frames, rejected off the 618, which we talked about yesterday, I believe, and your really small term time frames, unless you got a drive. You did build a drive of bearish divergence within this, so you're going to be looking for a pullback to the 618 before anything else. And did we get that? We did not get that. So targets still remain for 1528 on Ethereum, just based off of that bearish divergence before anything else. But looking not too bad. I wouldn't get too concerned unless you get hourly closure below 1515, below hourly closure below 1515, then you could consider that to be a market structure break, a more aggressive market structure break, and then you're most likely going to flip to a downward trend. But until then, upwards and onwards it should go, but just a slight pullback to the 618, and then we can take it from there. Is that level actually in line with the 618? It might be. No, but it's just close enough. So this level, as well as market structure line, that's actually the 705, would be a good place to potentially take some profit on some shorts and look for a long position. So yeah, there's just not much to talk about, unfortunately, right? We could treat this as like a mini range. You kind of invalidate it with this closure right here, but you might get also just back up to this point of control, but not too much to talk about, honestly. So let's just jump into the coins that you guys want, and we already had Tom request AVE and CRV. Sorry, I missed AVE. So let's just go over those. So we talked about, I believe, both of these yesterday. We definitely talked about AVE yesterday. Not on Binance. Cool. Let's go over to higher term time frames. Okay, so small term time frames, right? What I was expecting, I was expecting a slight pullback to 81.10 cents. Didn't get that fully. I think this just came back. Didn't even retest this. Just came back and filled this fair value gap here. And then continue to the upside. Do we get a market structure change fully? No. Yeah, we got a swing failure pattern formed on CRV. Mind you, you're probably going to pull back into this zone right here before any sort of continuation. So I will consider this to be a bearish order block. So you have the potential of pulling back into this zone. You probably also lines with the 705. Yep, right. The top of that bearish order block, as expected, aligns with the 705 Fibonacci level. So you are expecting a pullback into the zone at 8760, or at least I'm expecting a pullback into the zone at 1760, and then continuing to the downside of notable targets of this huge fair value gap downwards right here. And also, Tom, if these are not the time frames you want me to look at, just let me know in the chat. Upside targets, this fair value gap will be completely filled at 82.75. So I think a potential will be something along these lines, right? Coming up to this fair value of bearish order block, and then continuation to the downside. Obviously, right, this also is in line with this swing fair value pattern that we have, right? Wick above, close below. So you also expect your first take profit to be the 618, which right now is at 84.30. So taking a short up in here would probably be a good idea. Obviously no financial advice or anything like that, but then first take profits would be the 618 of this move, which is 84.30, and then your second take profit would be the filling this fair value gap. So obviously, where does this invalidate? Is going to be above any closure, above this this wick right here, 88.85. Closure below that, above that, invalidates the swing failure pattern. Okay, that's essentially my read at the moment. Alts push up, some to squeeze, some of the shorts, and then another move down. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we're gonna see. Let's just look with CRV. I think we just do small term time frames today, just because not too much occurred, maybe a lot occurred. CRV itself had a pretty impressive move back up. We do have a bit of a double bottom W, whatever you want to call it, right here. And as long as you're not building any struck divergences, no. You could treat this as a mini range, but this is your range bottom and something along these lines. You can go to the 1 hour time frame just to get a bit of a clearer look. So you already pulled back up into this bearish order block after this market structure break. So coming back up to here, and just of notice, yeah, you're at the 786. So, oh no, yeah, right there. So we rejected off the 786, came back, retested the 618. Not respecting the value area high very well with the 1 hour time frame at the very least. Just small time frames, just not too much to talk about. Yeah, I filled these fair value gaps, right? This big fair value gap right here, pumping back up. Not invalidating market structure in any way. So I do think you're probably just going to go for these range highs at this point at $1.24. And we could take it from there. Invalidations of that would be pretty far away at this point. I mean, you could, if you want to be more aggressive, a closure below on the 15-minute time frame below $1.10 roughly would invalidate that move up, but I don't think you're really going to. Yeah, this looks healthy, and I think you're going to just come up to these range highs, and then we can take it from there. Upward targets beyond that would be $1.26, but not looking too bad. Daily term time frame. You're currently coming up to your, let's actually just pull this one more time. Bang. Cool. Load. Can you check ETH 15-minute time frame, please, and thank you. Yeah, no problem. Oh, okay. I think we now just move the value height up here, which is cool, I guess. Just get rid of these. Yeah, daily levels, not too much work to be done above, basically. So I think it is going to be stuck within this little mini range. Potentially go up to this range high, and then we can take it from there. If it rejects, but nothing of too much concern there. 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. You do have a bearish order block, I would say, up here. So which is in line with the 6.8. So potentially all the way move up to $1.39. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So probably don't even have to talk about that today. But just in case I, for whatever reason, can't stream tomorrow. So let's just do ETH, 15-minute time frame. Let's just get rid of these. Okay, Ethereum 15-minute time frame. We are really just chopping around. I think I already might have done this already, but I would treat this as a range, right? Treat this as your range high if you would like. If you don't like this invalidation point, I'm not too concerned about that slight invalidation of the range highs. Especially since you just automatically pull back in it. You can pull it from this swing low, and you can see with that pulling it from the swing low, we're respecting this value area low right now. With the value area high heavily skewed to the upside, so I think you're most likely, if you can take this to be a range, you're most likely going to break to the downside of this. Same with this. You got a lot of work to do down here with this low volume node. So I think I would take this as to be your swing high, swing low. So just coming back down to this value area low is what I'm essentially looking for. And I think I've already gone over that. So cool. I will have, I've got about like 8 more minutes, roughly. I don't mind going over too much. But any other thoughts? I expect that chop to continue. Big money is moving positions around. Yeah, I don't see big moves anytime soon. Let me just take a look at SPX. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I don't expect too much. I still expected this to come down to 39.10. Is what I'm essentially looking for. What we talked about yesterday, but in terms of today, you might get that break yesterday's low. You might even right now. So yeah, essentially, I'm just looking for things to correct slightly. But nothing too much. I think you're probably going to bounce off this level. Obviously, if you can have a daily closure below it, that will invalidate this slight daily uptrend. Being more of a conservative, right? If you were being more aggressive, you put it up here, but closing below this will invalidate this slight daily uptrend, and that's would then probably have crypto fall as well. But I think you're probably just going to come back, bounce off of it. At least for now, and then we can see if we break it into the new month. Yeah, tomorrow we can go over monthly candles. We can see how Bitcoin's going. Alright, any other coins you guys want me to look at? While I wait for you guys to put the coins in the chat, make sure to join Discord, link in the description. It's all free. A lot of good traders in there. etc., etc. And also, actually, never mind. Never mind. I'll say that for another day. When I have more time to explain. Gotta move the camera. There you go. Alright. Well, if no one's gonna ask for any more coins, then I'll actually end a little bit earlier than what we're gonna end at. I thank you all for joining. It's really great to see that the viewership has still remained to go up, which is great, right? When I first started streaming, we had like 2-3 viewers, now up to 6 or 7, which percentage-wise is a great increase. So thank you all very much for tuning in and participating. Can't do much about the boring markets, I apologize, but I will see you all tomorrow. Links in the description for our Discord. Link is in the description if you want to trade on Bybit, which is a leverage trading platform for crypto, and you can get 30% off all your fees. So if you already have an account, you can make a new account through that link and save 30% off all your fees, and you'll save a lot of money over time and everything. It'll help support this channel and everything. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.